Hey y'all, it's your boy Kyle. Playing Factory Town, potentially beating it tonight. Factory Town. We have one last line to hook up, which is the berry cake line, which is nearly complete. Hopefully, once that enters the system, we'll be able to push the happiness over my 1500 threshold, which will make my lines meet demand, and then hopefully boost everything up to 1600. If that proves not to be the case, I do have some tricks up my sleeve to hopefully resolve the issue, but we will go from there. So, we need to finish off on this line. We have jam, we have cake, we just need to make berry cake. So, probably want everything to go up to the next level. And in this case, I'll be using only 2 lines per, just because of this, the fertilizer input lines that are kind of blocking it, but hopefully that'll be enough. And then I obviously have to get the berries over as well from the other side. Okay, there's some grabbers. There are some grabbers. Okay, so I'm trying to think of how I wanted to do this. I guess to be fair, with this being set up with only 2 each instead of 3, it is a little bit easier, but I'm trying to remember how I planned on conceptualizing this. I guess the idea would be that this will go here. Now, I think I can get the 4 lines in without too much finagling. Yeah, it should be pretty easy. Okay, so let me build the kitchen on this level. Alright, that's a farm, not a kitchen. And set it to produce berry cakes, which are right here. Takes 10 seconds, so I only need 1 producing items. Yes. Okay. So this is straightforward enough. Have one of these feed here, this one here, and so on and so forth. Okay. Grab some grabbers. This is not hooked up correctly. So this needs to travel up. I guess might as well put a barn here. I was like debating if I just wanted to use more silos, but I might as well use a barn. There's no harm in doing so. I almost forgot that I needed sugar. Man, these berry cakes are terrible for you. They use sugar in like every step of the process. Okay, so I can only have 2 lines coming in, because otherwise I run into this one. Unless there's a way that I can work around that. There is. Kinda, sorta. Okay, let's see. So what I could do is have this line be up in the air, push all of these lines back, and then that gives me enough space for 3 lines here. Let's see. So I can kind of do it like that. Perfect. Alright, so that'll work. I should actually probably put these grabbers down. Okay. And with this, all of the things except for berries should be in. Yep, so I just gotta get berries from this farm over to there. Which will be pretty straightforward. prefer not to go over the farm if not required. So pull from the front, although it's a little weird to get the camera down there, but they'll be fine. Okay. So I don't even really need to use... I might need to use silos to get it up to that level. Sure, why not? Okay, we gotta go up one more step. So yeah, I definitely needed silos or else I would not have been able to get there. Perfect. Okay, and then it seems like everything else has been fine with only one output line, so we'll just do that with this. Connect this straight into the... Is that going to cut off that line? No, it's fine. Okay. Straight into the specialty goods store. Hopefully, once everything works its way through, we'll see a nice big happiness boost. Okay, so it's gonna start going up. Once it gets over 1500, it should be enough for a lot of the lines to hit their peak productivity. What I'm concerned about is I think I may have foolishly and incorrectly designed some of the general good lines around requiring maximum happiness, which, needless to say, is a difficult feat to attain without, it's difficult to use an assembly line to get maximum happiness that requires maximum happiness to run. I'm also noticing these are kind of bumping into each other a little bit, but there's still enough space on the line that it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so we're up over 1500. Let's have a look at the food lines, because I know that they were able... So I'm a little confused, and I guess we'll just kind of have to keep watching this a little bit, because I know that the soup lines were able to back up once we hit 1500 happiness, but it might take a little bit for that to happen. The only thing, I guess, what would be weird is if it doesn't work now, because the only things I've done to these lines is improve them. I've, like, added Omnistone upgrades to them. That's the only thing I've done to the lines. So if they're not able to meet demand, I'm not sure how to resolve that, other than with my one trick up my sleeve that I might end up having to use, because we're up over 1500, but it's still not hitting that threshold. Now, of course, there is the issue that I could have not correctly conceptualized how to design this whole setup, and then, of course, it's not gonna do us any good. So, pastures pumping out stuff as fast as it can, grain mills pumping out as fast as it can. It had like an initial boost, but then it's kind of teetered out. So we're gonna inspect lines real quick for any possible backlogs that need to be resolved before moving forward. So this enchanter isn't running very efficiently, but the other enchanters are actually backing up, which is a good sign. So that could theoretically be something that sorts itself out in due time. Once all three enchanters are running, there's no reason that we would have any issues. So let's see. The sawmills constantly have stuff. This constantly has stuff. How's the water doing? Water's fine. We have more paper. Okay. So let's look at my leather production then. My leather needs water, that's the problem. Okay, so let's pause the game and figure out how to give more water. Whoops, I didn't mean to do Omnistone upgrades. So I guess I'll balance it out. So what's the deal? Why is this not getting enough water? it's just draining it so fast that there might be enough water in the system, but we need more minecarts. Okay. Let us extend. I feel like that'll probably be an issue that we'll have to solve for a lot of lines, is just anything that relies on minecarts. I might not have appropriate levels of track. What's the word I'm looking for? Saturation. It's like they have a lot of minecarts, but if there's a gap, it's not going to do them any good. So the answer, of course, is simply put more minecarts. Curious to see how the fishing lines will keep up as well. So once I get this done, I'm going to have a look at those. So I do feel like medical items were one of the areas where I ran into the most problems. Okay, so this line is essentially saturated at this point. Maybe not the entirety of it, but we'll see if that is enough of a solution. So we need those enchanted books. Hopefully water production is still okay, because it is not very easy to look at these barns. So this barn doesn't have enough items in it, but it is the first barn they pull from. So the actual one I need to check is at the end of the line. I can click on it. That one's full. That one's full, that one's full, okay. System currently has enough water in it, so that's not the issue. I should probably monitor other aspects of the line. So this has water. Guess we just need to keep an eye on any particular point and make sure that it after a few rotations it still has water. Or I guess what we could do is see if carts are making it to the bottom and they still have water in them. So it's safe to say that it's doing what it needs to do. That one has water, that one has water. How are these farms doing? Because I know that these kitchens rather has resources. Good. Also has resources. Has resources. Has resources. Alright. So that part of the line is fine. Kitchen is pumping out as much as it can. This is moderately backed up, but it's backed up by its production rate of fish oil. So let's boost this with Omnistones. Probably didn't need to give it that last one. And then I believe this is a symmetrical layout, so then I would need to buff this one. Yes, no. Oh wait, there are a lot of kitchens here. Okay. So this is the one that I would like to get boosted real high, but I can't, so. I think all lines lead to the ocean anyway. The only thing this is going to do is really boost. The only imp boost this is going to have is on the ointment line, which seems to be going relatively consistently. How are we doing on this front? This barn is empty. What is this barn supposed to hold? This barn is supposed to hold antidotes. No. This barn is supposed to hold health potions. Okay, so this is just like a transfer point. So all of these are basically running. Yeah. I guess what's going to come down to is whether or not I need to try and speed this line up, because I'm trying to I don't even know what part I would need to figure out. I think it's just a matter of okay, this is actually chewing. It's like very much at equilibrium as far as what are these? Antidotes are concerned. Okay. What about juice? Okay, so I can improve the antidote aspect by throwing some Omni Stones on it. But what about the remedies? I think, because the remedies are a limiting factor, but as long as they're constantly outputting, that's fine. Can throw a few upgrades on them. If I can actually reach the kitchens. That one already had some upgrades on it, didn't it? No, it didn't. Okay. Alright. So hopefully we'll see some results from that. It's only a minor update, but... So let's see. How are these sheep doing? Alright, these sheep have resources and they're outputting as quickly as they can. This line is backed up. What part of this line is backed up? The gathering herbs part of the line is backed up, as it likes to be. But where? Ah, so the issue is not... Well, the issue is not a matter of resources in, but rather throughput. So, by adding an extra line to this, I think we will solve this problem. At least temporarily. I need more lines. Can I get... Oh, this is gonna be a hard line to put down, but I think I can build one on the back. Okay, so if I throw this silo here... If I get my camera angled just correctly, I can get another line off of this farm into these silos. Honestly, what I should do I should have it go to the next one. So then only the one in the middle is being double dipped on. Okay, getting my camera down there though might be literally impossible. Wait, no, I can just grab this one. Okay. And this is why you don't build things this compact. Because if you give yourself more space to work, you don't run into problems like this. Okay. So now both of these should have all of their items actually being pulled from them now. They aren't. What's the issue? Ah, this is still full. I think it will take a little bit of time. If I... It will probably take a little bit of time for this system to work itself out, but as long as this is full, we're where we need to be, so... Yeah, because these are outputting now consistently to the point where I can boost them. Okay. How are my coins doing before I go too crazy? It still seems like yellow coins are trending downwards, but the other coins are going up pretty quickly. And like I've mentioned before, the yellow coin issue is something I can resolve just by shutting off the Omnistone generator. So let's have a look and see what houses need. Here's a 14 house. This house needs advanced gadgets and magic supplies, are what it's running out of. But it's currently consuming an item from every category. So let's see what happens once it's done eating things. Because I might... Magic supplies, so those are the cloaks, and then mana pipes. So both of those have a potential hiccup in them. Well, I don't know about the cloaks. I need to look at this line again, but I know the mana pipeline is very, very close to, like, being imbalanced. Because what? I have one mine here that I've given 5 Omnistone upgrades to instead of just building another mine. I think we might have to build another mine. Okay, so let me clear out some space. Yeah, I guess I didn't need to delete those. So I need to clear out this column so I actually have space to put the mine. But is that gonna work? Because I need to go up further. I guess what I could do is build it like here. There's a tree in the way. It's like, why can't I place it? I need to delete that tree. Place it there, put it to a barn, put the barn to the other thing, mana shard. Okay, haven't tried building like this, but I'm pretty sure I can place this barn here and just stick it on this nerd pole. Yep, what do you know, it worked. Okay, so I need to delete some lines so I can see what I'm doing for a second. Okay, so this will pull from the barn, or from the mine into the barn, and then we pull from the barn into the magic forge. And replace this. Hopefully I don't have any issues with fuel, although, I mean, it will only be a break in the line for a second. So hopefully we'll start to see more consistent output, which should result in a higher production rate of mana pipes. So why? Oh, mana crystal takes 10 seconds. But this needs to be running consistently, otherwise our clock cycle is too slow. So we should start to see improvement from here. We'll want to keep an eye on the fuel lines to make sure they're still meeting demand, but it looks like we're doing fine. Now the magic supply line. This seemed to be another point of contention. So let me look. We're like really close on general good stuff as well, but like I was saying, they could be built around a perfect timing, which doesn't work very well. Some of them are even short on like cheese and crap. What's the issue with cheese? The issue with cheese is animal grain. What's it? But I have enough farms. It shouldn't be a problem, but it is. It's always a problem. Okay. Wait, no. I was like, this could be part of the issue, but I realized this is just extra inventory. This isn't part of the thing. So, I think I'm going to enact Plan B. And Plan B is a little ridiculous. So Plan B is to install a kill switch onto my town. A control by which I can determine whether or not the town gets to eat or not. And if I decide that they don't get to eat, they'll get very sad for a while, but that will give the system a chance to back up. Kind of like starting a lawnmower, you know, you pull the ripcord. So when I turn off the kill switch and say, hey, you guys can have food again, there'll be tons of items in the system, and maybe that will be enough to boost us artificially to 1600, but then stay at that point. So I'm going to block off everything that leads to a market of some variety. Alright, where do I need like a knot somewhere. A knot switch. And then I'll sync it all up. And then I'll let everything go, but I want to wait until I've built everything to unpause the game, because once I unpause the game, people are going to get very unhappy very quickly. Because they won't have any food or anything. And then once the system is artificially at a high enough threshold, I can determine from there if I need to make any other changes. Okay. Alright. So blockers here. These are honestly close enough that I can link them to this same not function. Mostly I just wanted to consolidate all these so I wouldn't have to drag so many lines, but I'm realizing everything might be close enough that I don't have to worry about that. Okay. Do all of these buildings have some sort of... No, okay, no. This barn holds on to excess reinforced planks, but everything else is lacking as far as some sort of backlog is concerned, so I'll need to build one. And I'll probably want to filter the output just to make sure everything gets something. So maybe I should move back further so I can have 2 ports for every item, doing the old ramp trick. Okay. Need a barn. Okay, so I will filter, I don't know, probably conveyors out the bottom because I hate them. They look the worst out of all of the items. This barn needs support. Okay. Grabbers. Item filter, metal, conveyor belt. Oh, gourmet. I'm like, why does a berry cake come up? But no, it's just the icon for gourmet. Oh wait, I should probably put the blockers down first, or else I'll have a hard time doing that. Put those down, link those up to the not function. Okay. Problem is some of these systems are backed up completely, but like I am understandably a little confused because my stew lines aren't backed up, but they used to back up, and I've only improved the amount of items that they produce, so I'm almost wondering if it's like some issue with, because I have so much crap going on now, the game is like, we can't handle it, boss. And so things are falling apart. And reinforced plank. Okay, and then one more layer and this will be all hooked up. So that's all hooked up. This now, last but not least, the this one will be a doozy. So, do I want to put the barn before or after the packager? I guess I'll put it before, and I'll just kind of link it up with what already currently exists. do need to put filters on these, don't I? Because otherwise they're gonna have issues. I guess that's why I would need to put it after the packager. Okay. So I guess I'll have to change that setup around. Now I didn't need to do that with any of the other stuff because they were in silos. Because there was enough space in their line. Wonder if there's a way that I could do it with the other thing. I feel like the answer is probably yes. Let's see, so I've got, what else do I need? Metal conveyor belt. Okay. Everything has a designated spot. So I know that there had been issues with filtering items that were in crates. Let me think. So wherever I put the packager, it needs to have a lot of throughput. So I guess what I'll do is I can keep this infrastructure here this way, slide everything back, put another packager in, or move the packager in, and then kind of copy this design and just have this as the intermediate point. Okay. So I need to build another little, like, super ridiculous thing. And honestly, I do need the blockers on the main path. Okay. So let me get those in. I mean, I guess realistically, if I get the blockers in, I probably don't need a barn, but I've already committed. That's the spirit, right? Is that? Okay, so those are all in the correct spot. Hook them up. Game didn't like that. Did it connect correctly? I don't believe that it did. Oh, it did. Okay, it's just like through the wall. I guess that makes sense. I'm like, am I hitting a limit? I didn't think there was a limit, and it doesn't appear that there is. I just forgot that there is a structure between where I am and where I need to be. Build this back one at a time. So everyone's all happy right now, but they're gonna be real sad in a little bit. Okay, so let's get this packager hooked up. Where did I put that block? Oh, it's over here. Clear out all this excess scaffold, move the packager up here, rebuild this nonsense. Filter the barn. Ooh, not the entire barn, just the individual slots. Elixir, let's see what else. Medical wrap. It's the medicine category. I'm like, what's that item? And what's the last one? Ointment. Okay. So, grab everything. Sure, ointment. So that's what I've already got, and I'm pretty sure that was on the bottom as well anyway. Strength spell book. Might as well build the next layer so I don't have to type as much. And this one is elixir. Okay, and last but not least, what was the item? I forget. Medical wrap. And now I just have to actually build a ramp back into the building. I remember, I think I'm hoping I did my math correct on where this needs to be placed. I guess it's not critical. Yeah, that's correct. Hooray! Yeah, I get to do the scaffold dance. Beautiful. Okay, so let me get this all actually hooked up now to a switch, which I will use a minecart to do because to the best of my knowledge, switches and toggles and whatever don't work without. So I can't hook this toggle up to this and then go like that to trigger everything. So what I need is to build a little switch that I can interact with. So here's a blocker, we'll put a minecart down, tell it to go that way, and then need a, that's it. I need an agent trigger here that looks at itself, I guess. I don't know if I need to set that or not, I'm pretty sure it's correct by default. So it will trigger the toggle, which will trigger that, and then it will also trigger that. So right now the minecart's just going to sit here until I turn this blocker off. This will give everything the opportunity to produce as much as it can, and then eventually it will hit that point where it says, hey boss, I'm full, then everything will back up. Once that happens, or I guess once we hit an unacceptably low level of happiness, aka 0. I mean, as long as we have 100 of every item, or a little bit more than that, we're fine. Which should happen relatively quickly. But the longer we let it back up, the more sustained that, forceful pull will be. I am moderately concerned that I did something wrong here on this enchanter line. So while we're doing this, let's go to here, on the little spreadsheet, and kind of rebuild this. So what is it? Magic cloak, I think. Yes. So it takes 1 cloak, 1 wool, and 4 mana power. So we need a cloak. And then we need wool. And we're making cloth out of wool. So I guess I need to take a step back and go to the cloth made from wool. So we need 3 wool, and we need 2 leather. Are we meeting that demand in this system? Where's the leather? Leather, leather, leather. There it is. Okay. So we have... Aha! There's your problem. No amount of backlog in your system is going to save you from not building it large enough. So, I only have one pasture producing wool, but I need two. If I'm going to make cloth from wool. This begs the question then, do I just go ahead and make cloth from cotton? Because if I... wait. Okay, yeah, so that was the issue. It's like, oh, it only takes one workshop. But no, it takes two pastures. So I need to modify my line. Or I just need to build... I need to convert this from cotton, or from wool to cotton. Cotton's gonna be hard to get to this location, but it might need to be done. I guess this workshop can be moved if it's not having wool fed to it. So let's go ahead and do that. And that shouldn't have a problem. I was like, I had a brief moment of panic, like, what if that impacts my jam lines? But I think it'll be fine. Why is cake backed up? Cake needs butter. What's wrong with butter? Butter needs more animal feed. Of course it does. And I guess this has a ton of animal feed. Of course it does. Okay. So I need to redesign the system in a way where excess animal feed can be moved from one mill to the other. I think if I build a second layer to this, let me think. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I'll just pipe out of it, but I'm pretty sure if I do, and I was like thinking I would connect it to this grain mill and push it through that grain mill. Which honestly, can I make that work? I feel like there's a really dumb way that I can do this where it'll work. I love how it's also just like consuming resources as I toggle between them. Okay. I guess alternatively, I could just pipe excess from these silos into the other silos. No, because that's a bad idea. Because that will prioritize feeding this grain mill before feeding the other one, which honestly might be okay. I don't know. Because these silos are completely backed up. You know what? I've decided that it's okay. And it's only going to be a trickle, but it hopefully will just be enough to improve the system balance overall. Anyway, before I get too carried away, let me repair this line or else it won't happen. Then I will be a sad, sad boy, wondering why I don't have any magical cloaks. Okay. Just gonna kind of have a floating thing for a while. Floating rechargers, sure, why not? They're magical, they can float. Makes perfect sense. Okay, so then what I will probably do instead of what I was doing is build my cotton farm over here. So if I convert this from cloth to cotton, I shouldn't change the amount of workshops I need, but it will... Do I need more than one? Farm. No. Okay, good. I don't have space for more farms. How do I want to do this? Because I could put it here and put it in line with the rest, which is probably my best course of action. And then just use silos to get it up to where it needs to be. Yeah. It needs to be in line with the other farms, or else I will not be pleased. And sure, we'll have the water feature out front. Okay, well this is interesting. I'm running into a hill. So, maybe maybe it can justifiably be shaped differently, because that will make it fit. Okay, how many spaces do I have? Sure, that'll be the water feature side. That's a no-go. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect. Even though I want it to be perfect, whatever. Okay. Tools. No, that's pipes. Tools. Here's my good enough cotton farm. Your job. Apply water. Collect cotton. Plant cotton. Bam. Okay. And then we will just travel upwards. However we have to do it. So, let's place the... Let's place the other workshop while I'm thinking about it, so I have an end goal in sight. Okay, cloth from cotton. Be careful about these silos. Not that careful. Okay. So I guess we can kind of work backwards a little bit. I don't know why I connected down the other side. I do like this just mess of silos just smashed into each other. There is something satisfying about that. Alright. So now we don't have a point of reference, so we do kind of have to build up. This might be the most disgusting vertical item transport I've done so far. Also, these ones aren't lined up with these ones. So they're not even gonna, like... Yeah, it's gonna be bad. I'm like trying to debate if there's a way to just like fully embrace how terrible this is going to look. Make it even worse than it's already going to be. And I definitely think like zigzagging back and forth is going to be a big help in those regards. Okay, we're almost there, only a couple more layers. Ooh, I know. We'll just arbitrarily use a barn up here. That's nice and hideous. Alright, where's a barn I can copy? Here's one. Fucking beautiful. You know, sometimes you have to make the tough decisions, like building a terrible farm is the decision I had to make. Okay, so what's happening? Why is this not collecting cotton? Oh, that might have something to do with the fact that none of it is grown yet. Okay. Oh man, it's slowing down because people are getting real unhappy. I do have to say, this is going to be difficult to backlog if, I guess it is backlogged. Okay, so these are almost completely full. This line's full, this line's full, that line's full, that line is full enough, not completely full. Still cakes. Oh wait, yeah, because we just fixed that. In fact, no, we never even really fixed it, so to say. This is a dangerous game I'm playing if I spread this out further. Sure, let's go all in. We are committed. Full stealing mode. But theoretically, once the one backs up, it should be fine. Oh dang, we're there. We're at the 0 happiness mark. Okay. And with that change, I think it is safe to give the town its resources back. Okay, so that's all full. Alright, so once I deactivate this blocker, the minecart will go around the system once, toggle it, and then stop. Okay, that didn't work. Why not? Oh, of course, my toggle was set to the wrong state. It's green for kill switch engaged. It needs to be red for kill switch not engaged. Okay, no. Now I just don't know why it's not working. Perhaps toggles don't work the way I think they do. Neat. Okay, I guess I'll switch this with the toggle, because this should work the way I think it does. You know what, here, we'll give one person a chance to consume resources for a moment. No, it helps if I actually connect this to something. Okay, now it works. Alright, so now I get to go and connect everything again. I know what the issue was. I had it hooked up backwards. Damn it. No. Oh no, what did I just do? Because the autosave made it freak out. I think I removed the logic link. Yes. Okay. So now I get to hook it back up in the correct direction this time. Oh, there are 5 happy people. I won't stand for this. Okay, so I can get all of the sides. I just can't get the center without deleting things. I'm like, what the fuck? I deleted it for 1 second and a pickaxe got through, and now there's another happy person. This is intolerable. Oh well. At least now that I know what I'm doing, it's easier to hook back up. Hopefully that's right. Alright, logic link. Logic link. I did that wrong, didn't I? Yes. There we go. Okay. So everything should be hooked up now. If I click on it, I can kind of check and see. I see 8 beams going through this apothecary, which is what I want. Do I see 8 beams here? I do. These are all hooked up. Those are all hooked up. That's hooked up. Okay. Now I can actually disengage the kill switch and and let everyone consume. So we should see happiness skyrocket as houses consume as many items as they can as quickly as possible. It'll kind of happen in like bumps of 400, I would think. This should skyrocket all the way to alright, what's the issue here? What's the issue here, folks? Why ain't you unpacking? Oh my gosh. Okay, so the packager is in a bad way. Which I would imagine is happening on both sides. Kinda, sorta. This one has more space to work with, so maybe that's the problem, is it just needs its inventory less predefined. Although I can't really make that change at this point. What I could do is artificially block that one until the system can actually feed through it. Okay. Now I'm pretty sure they'll have just swung the other way now, though. Yeah. So, this is an important lesson, folks. Don't use one packager, use more than one packager. Because now it's completely backed up. We're so close, but we're not gonna hit that threshold if I can't solve this problem. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to do it. I think I'm gonna have to destroy my beautiful plants. I won't stand for it. It will be rebuilt, but unfortunately I need more than one packager. Okay. I guess I'll want to rework this a little bit, since now it is no longer connected in in the correct locations. I am struggling hard here, folks. Okay, might as well rotate these into each other so they don't have issues fighting on that front. I even have to delete this, but I liked that. I'll move this so I can at least... I worked so hard to make this area of town look nice, and this is how you repay me, packagers? Okay. This is what I can do. I can do this little design and put the fence on the outside. There, it almost looks better. Okay. So 3 and 3. The other one's on the next level. So with this, once I unpause the game after this is hooked up, we should be at where we need to be, unless we're running into this problem in other places, which could happen. And I want to rebuild this, but I'm like sitting here and I'm like, I'm not exactly sure what it looked like. I know I had a lamp. But was it too high in the air, or was it only one high? I had one of these guys. There, a lamp. And sure, a plant. It's almost the same, not quite. What else do we have? Potted flowers, here we go. Okay, so unpause the game, let this stuff flow through. So it's a little bit backed up with the wrong item until it's done feeding through all of that. But then we'll be in the clear. I guess there is a solution to this, and it's just artificially remove everything from the conveyor belt. There we go. Okay, so we are at 1600 happiness. And we're making lots of money. This is an artificially high level, though. Now, the real question is, will this be sustained, and if so, for how long? Because I see cheese dropping pretty steadily. So I pause the game. I'm assuming it's still an issue with grain. I don't think I have a choice. I think I have to increase grain production. As much as I want it to be nice and balanced, I don't think it's working out. Hold on. Could it literally be simply that this silo right here can't distribute its goods fast enough? Because all of the rest, none of the rest of them are. Oh wait, this one's backed up too. Why? Why are you backed up? So it is a throughput issue, it seems. I guess I could go real hard and put. That's not running into anything. What about, is that happening over here? It's not happening on this side, it's only happening on the one side. Very strange. But if it's a throughput issue, we could solve this throughput issue by hooking in the barns. Especially at this point, I shouldn't need to build any more wheat farms, so, or at least not very many. So I can probably safely hook these in, which will reduce throughput problems. Okay. Come on, game. So then after doing this, we'll be able to see if this is the issue or if I do need to increase production on the line. Part of it, why is that? Okay, never mind. The barns aren't being reached. These are not the correct scaffold. Or rather, the barn is built at a different level. Okay. Which is unfortunate, because I just changed this line structure. I didn't even need to. Actually, I still might have. I will, for safety's sake, redesign it in its original, or in that structure. Okay, so now we should see just a ridiculous amount. Really? That is insane. It's barely keeping up. And this is like, I mean, this is not sustainable. It's not going to maintain that rate forever. Okay, so now if we're running into issues with wheat, it's production level. It could be a throughput issue now again. So that one's fine. That one's backed up. What about that one? That one's also fine. So it's one of them is backed up. But otherwise it is running at essentially full capacity. Let me go ahead and make sure I'm not an idiot as far as the amount that this needs to be. Jeez. In a 6-second clock cycle. Items per cycle 1. Okay, I need 2 kitchens. I have 2 kitchens. I need 3 milk. I remember being skeptical about this. Takes exactly one. Like, I've got the pasture boosted. So it's going to be a matter of ensuring that there is proper throughput on all buildings. These are like upgraded insanely, so I don't need to worry about the farms. So I guess at this point it's just... I mean, it does have like a straight extra 200 boost on top of it, so I think it's probably fine. I guess the reason these ones are fine is because they're pulling from multiple sides. So once this silo fills up, these systems should be running at full capacity, or no, because we'll run into issues down here too, won't we? I don't know. I think it's a low enough percentage of the time, although it seems to be stuttering. I mean, the whole game is going like 1 FPS when I look at this. Okay. Next question is there any way that I can fix this given my current situation? I feel like the answer is no. We've already seen a substantial drop in happiness, and it's going down fast. Let me guess. Packager is broken. Yep. Damn it. I'm gonna move this one because it has a lot of stuff in it, and I'm gonna clone a new one, and I'm gonna see if they fixed the way that the filters work. Well, it helps if I select the correct recipe. Okay. Such a fragile beast. I really don't want to have 4 packagers. But if I have to, I have to. Okay, no, it doesn't work. Okay, well that... got that answer really fast. Holy shit, just look at this line. What's interesting to me is this line is not backed up yet, or at all, really. I think it'll be a while before it gets to a point where that would happen on all fronts. There's a lot of storage points on this system. But unfortunately, I do think it actually does create some problems. And this comes with some problems. How do I solve these problems? I need 4 packagers. I think that's ultimately the only way around it. And I might honestly want to reenact the kill switch for a little bit of time again. I guess I'll just delete this packager even though it's full of items. Okay. Problem is going to be getting into the barn. I have access to 18 slots if I don't go hard, and I don't want to, so we'll go with 18 slots. So packager, one here, one here. And you know what? These will be for my 2 front lines. Ooh, I'm actually gonna have some problems. Because this needs to turn. I guess it can turn here. So this one will turn and go into that packager. This one will go straight on into this packager. And let's hook these into the barns real quick. just repeat on the upper layer. Okay, nope, that's not what I want. So that's that one. Okay, and then need 2 more packagers. Okay, so I think currently I'm going to go ahead and say that if you as a player want to use packagers, I would say they're not really worth it unless they get put back into a state where you can filter their slots, because right now they are not, like, a single packager doesn't have enough of an impact to warrant wasting a worker on it. And I say that in jest slightly, but I am kind of trying to get a high score here, you know? I am under 500, which I feel like is a good number of workers. But I haven't completed my goal yet, or I'm not done yet, so, you know, can't say that it will stay that way. I've done this wrong, haven't I? I do have 18 slots. Nah, I guess I'm fine, yeah. It's just this one right here. It's because I was gonna have an empty gap right there. I'm like, gaps? That doesn't sound like optimal efficiency. Alright. Last but not least, right here. And the barn is filtered, yes? Okay. Fucking beautiful. Okay. So, since a few of you weren't happy about not having items, you don't get to have anything anymore. And I'm gonna wait till the system's back up again. Okay, so this... once this filters out, I should actually replace this with a fresh packager that doesn't have filters on it. Okay. So the system's gonna back up again. Hopefully give us a chance to figure out where we're at with items and throughput. Because this is still going at an artificially high rate. This barn is being prioritized for output over the other ones, but that's beside the point. Never went and checked back on this line. Okay, it seems to be working. Needs more cotton. How long does cotton take? Cotton takes 2 seconds. Are we getting stuck anywhere? Is that a problem? And if it is, at what point in the line would it be a problem? Because this should only be ever so slightly slower when it's watering crops, and doesn't need to do that right now. Yeah, because it needs 4 cotton, and 1 farm can, yeah. Should be fast enough, damn it. Okay. Just not seeing enough cloth come through. It's starting to back up now, and this system isn't actually like backed up, so I think the farm has caught up. I wonder, let me watch this. It doesn't seem like it's running the risk of running out of goods. Okay. The system is wildly backed up. These are all full immediately. It's just this one that isn't. It does seem like the berry cake's running a lot slower. Let me guess, my decision has swung things in the other direction, yes. I needed to figure out a smarter solution to this. Because I need to get this balanced, but they need to share. And right now they aren't sharing. This system is not backlogged, whereas the rest of them are. I can't really utilize the front of the grain mill. So I guess what I'll have to do there's a solution here. I just have to figure out what it is. We're back down to 0 happiness. So I'm gonna pause the game, I guess. Actually, there's no reason to pause. The whole point is to develop a backlog, except the actual backlog production rate is substantially slower right now. It is kind of fun just being able to toy with these many fake people. Okay. I do think that, well, especially because the natural output of the building faces directly into this pasture, I can pretty safely pull from the top as a lower priority point. And I guess, yeah, just have it go around to the other one. I guess for now we'll only have 1 point, and if I can use another point, we'll use another point, but I don't think that'll be a thing. Okay. So hopefully 1 port's good enough to balance the system. I don't know why it's imbalanced. I guess I do kind of, because I didn't consider the ratio of grain to where it's going. I just added it all up and made it. Okay. It's probably time to flip back. Well, at least we'll see. Okay, so this is at 100. This is just getting up. Let me have a look at these other lines. Yeah, because what? This isn't even backed up. I guess it's all because it's all in this barn. Alright, that's good enough. Let's throw the switch. Here, you know what? This needs to be more important looking. There we go. Now it's very ominous. Boom. Okay, and we get to see happiness shoot back up again, and we'll see if everything goes off without a hitch this time. Okay, so these are backing up. I mean, we've already immediately flooded the market with food, but that's beside the point. We got lots of cheese. How about sandwiches? We got a reasonable amount of them. The the enchanters can't even output all their stuff fast enough, which is a good sign, honestly. Probably not a permanent one, but a good sign nonetheless. So how's this working out? So this doesn't have enough grain, this doesn't have enough grain. That's more what I'm used to seeing. Okay. We should get back to 1600 pretty quickly. Come on. Whoever y'all are, eat your last couple of items. I know there are enough in the market. There's no reason that you should be having trouble. Who's the last person that's not happy? Oh goody, they're on an edge so I can see them. No, they aren't. this motherfuckers. I saw that 15. I thought I did at least. One of you little shits is not satisfied there. I see it. I see the 15. No, camera, why? I'm trying to conceptualize where it is. It is an edge building, but it's on this wall. This house. They want a cake. Oh, they ate a cake. Okay. Alright, we're at 1600 happiness now. Artificially so, but we are at that point. Interestingly enough, it seems like... Wow, that's just crazy. Like, the influx. I guess it's 100 houses all making a request at the same time, but it's crazy to just watch the market go from full to empty of a specific resource. Okay, so these have kind of normalized now. They're slowly undoing their backlog. Workshop is not flooded with cotton, though. Why not? This one's kind of backed up. Maybe that's the problem. It should be close enough anyway. There's a lot of leeway on that one. Alright, so this is backed up. This is not. But once this does back up, it should start sharing its animal feed, so that it should balance out a bit better. Well, I want to see that happen, so I'm going to keep an eye on this for a second. I guess I can kind of look at other stuff. Okay. How are these doing? This barn is constantly full, which is a good thing. And so as a result, the other resources are constantly full. Okay, so we're seeing animal feed leave this grain mill and go to the other pasture. Hopefully it's enough to balance things out, but don't know. It's gonna be kind of like an awkward back and forth for a little bit. But we have time. I guess that's the important thing. So the books are actually being backlogged. That's how far back this line is. I guess it's the enchanters can't pull enough power out. How are the fish doing? That one's full, that one's full. Okay, so they're pulling from here currently. How are the actual fish barns doing? Has fish, has fish, has fish. Alright, that's the only part that I care about. This has some stuff in it. It's actually draining. It's interesting to see. It's building back up. These are just constantly like... Well, I guess to be fair, if I look at this, there's so many elixirs in backlog that it doesn't really matter. This entire line is solid. Hilariously enough, the medical line just seems to be the one that has the most problems while running, but sorts itself out the most once it's done. What the fuck? What the fuck? Happiness. What's going on? Let me guess. I'm going to say it's probably gourmet. I feel like my berry cake line is not up to par. Would like to be able to click on this house. Yes, they are missing cakes. What about y'all? They're missing tools? Why are they missing tools? Even like... What has happened? Even these lines aren't like permanently backlogged. I feel like I've broken the game. And in turn, the game has broken me. I don't know, like, I feel like I can't say that I've beaten the game because I'm not maintaining 1600 happiness, but like, I can do it, but I don't know if I can do it with my rule set with my current worker threshold. Like, I could probably just throw some throw items at it to make sure it sustains itself, but like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of crap here. I don't know, I might just call it there. They're planning on doing like a big rework on how this whole town system works anyway. So I might wait till that's out and then just start anew from there with newer knowledge and whatnot. What is this happening like over here? This is literally just flickering back and forth, the minecarts. Anyway, it's 3:33. I should probably go to bed. I'll see you guys. Don't know if we'll come back with Factory Town tomorrow or if I'll pick a different game. Yeah. I feel like I will need to revisit this at some point if I do choose to not play tomorrow, because I can't call my high score if I'm not maintaining a constant 1600 happiness. So I might have to come back some other time, take a closer look at what parts of the systems are having problems, figure out how to distribute my goods better, maybe make sure I'm like actually producing enough. But I was under the impression that I was, at least. But anyway, until next time, see you guys.